let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be talking about a little bit about Ohio State in general, as well as the city of Columbus and some of the other major things, since not everybody here is an Ohio State student. I will also then be going into a little bit about the MAE program overall, talk about some of the coursework that you'll be taking, some of the opportunities that you'll have job prospect wise, then going into the admissions process, what we look for in a candidate, and then the timeline of the application process. So I don't foresee this taking the full hour, but like I said, feel free to ask any questions throughout. But just very quickly, a little bit about the Ohio State University. We were established as a land-grant institution in 1870. We're currently the third largest public institution in the United States. And we're located here in Columbus, Ohio, which I will talk about a little bit more here in a few minutes. From a graduate standpoint, we have nearly 200 graduate programs on campus. So a wide variety of interests from both the master's level as well as the PhD level that you can get involved with, whether it's the applied economics master's program or something else down the road. One of the other nice advantages is that we also have a worldwide network of alumni that you can use potentially for upcoming networking opportunities for future jobs. So talking a little bit about Columbus overall, we are now the 14th largest city in the United States and one of the fastest growing economies here in the state of Ohio. So you'll see on your screen here that there's several different rankings that we have. We're ranked #1 in opportunity cities for Forbes, one of the happiest workers in the area as well. Most budget-friendly metros, so if you're not from the Ohio or Columbus area, we are fairly budget-friendly when it comes to looking for housing, those sorts of things to stay while your time here. And we're also ranked one of the 20 best US cities for culture as well. And kind of a little bit talking about the department as well. The Department of Agricultural, Environmental, and Development Economics, or AEDE for short, so I won't be saying that the whole night. We have over 20 world-class faculty members within our department. And they focus in a lot of areas within applied economics, specifically within agricultural, environmental, evaluation, regional, food securities, development economics. So a wide range of areas that they look into different areas for research. Now, how that applies to you in the Masters of Applied Economics program, you're going to be working with the top economists to show you how to take those economic theories and apply them to real world situations that you're going to be seeing in the workforce. Currently, our department has nearly 100 graduate students, which leaves us to have a student to faculty ratio of about 4 to 1. This year's incoming Masters of Applied Economics class, we have about 16 students currently taking the program full time. And traditionally, we have anywhere from 10 to 20 students per cohort each and every year. So not large class sizes, but enough that you're going to be getting a lot of great hands-on opportunities from our faculty. So moving towards the Masters of Applied Economics program as a whole, the MAE curriculum is really a toolbox of skills that you're going to be getting and techniques for econometric modeling, mathematical programming, benefit cost analysis, and program evaluation, amongst other things. It's a joint program hosted by both my department, the Department of Agriculture, Environmental, and Development Economics, as well as the Department of Economics within the College of Arts and Sciences. So you're going to be working with faculty and staff from 2 nationally ranked programs, both in the theoretical field as well as the applied field of economics. This is a professional-based degree, so it's not a thesis or research-based program. It is more you getting the skills that you need to be successful within your future careers and getting out. So many other master's programs in economics, they focus on the academic curriculum, which requires some sort of academic research paper or thesis. This is not one of those programs, which we'll kind of touch base here in a few minutes. So currently, we're in our third cohort right now, so it's a relatively new program, but the reason why we designed it was that there's been a growing demand nationally and even internationally for professionals trained with advanced technical and analytical skills to address applied economic issues and communicate those solutions effectively. By getting that real world experience, we're being involved with various projects supervised by both local public and private partners. Huntington National Bank has been one of our good partners within one of our courses, which will allow you to actually work with their live data and present it to their higher ups later down the road, which we'll touch base a little bit later on, more information about that. But it gives you the opportunity to see some critical perspectives and various analytical decision making for public and private sectors, but also be able to communicate the data of your results down the road. So like I said, that we are a 2-semester program if you decide to do this full time. We do have some part-time options, which would probably be about 4 semesters if you're thinking about that. We only offer courses in the autumn and spring semester. So we have a total of 31 credit hours that you'll be working with here. So during our autumn semester, you'll see up at the top of your screen there, you'll see the survey of microeconomics and the survey of mathematical methods in economics. Those are through our department of economics. So you'll be getting the economic theory and everything that you'll be needing to progress to more of the applied side, as well as seeing what mathematical skills you're going to be needing within the program as a whole. The AED Econ courses that you see there for the autumn semester, that's where you're going to be able to start using some of your applied economics and starting to learn some of the statistical programs that we work with. You'll be learning how to use statistical systems such as Stata, SAS, as well as R throughout your time here in various courses. The Applied Quantitative Methods 1 course as well as the Benefit Cost Analysis course both use SAS. So you'll be able to get some key skills within the first half of the semester, learn how to use those programs and run regressions, and then they'll start giving you more complex projects and everything for the final half of the semester, since they assume that you're going to be knowing what you're doing at that point in time. The Benefit Cost Analysis classes also has a lab attached to it, so you'll be able to have that instruction in a lab setting as well. And then you also get 1 elective course for the autumn semester. And as you'll see at the bottom portion, that's all of our suggested electives that are going to be offered throughout. And I kind of like to call them, this is where you get your almost some sort of a specialty kind of, if you're looking into specific areas in applied economics. So you can see we have the International Economics and Policy, of course, the AED Econ 6200. That seems to be a very popular course right now with all the current events that are happening with the trade wars and the tariffs and everything with China. So they're using real current events in that course to kind of see how that's affecting the economy and everything here in the US. We also have courses that deal with environmental and resource economics or regional international development, if that's something you're looking into. If you're looking more on the theory-based side, you want to get a little bit more on the theory side, we have game theory as well as labor economics that you can look into, which are some of the more popular courses that our students like to have. So all in all, during your autumn semester, you're going to be taking a total of 5 courses. In the spring semester, you're going to have a little bit of a lighter overload. You'll have the opportunity to take 4 courses total. So you'll have your survey to macroeconomics, so thinking more of the big picture side of things, and then our applied quantitative 2 methods course, and then 2 electives. With the Applied Quantitative 2 Methods course, that is where we do our partnership project with Huntington National Bank. So you'll actually be going to Huntington National Bank's headquarters, which is about 10 and 15-minute drive, and we provide transportation to that, and working with them at their headquarters for part of the semester, and then also working in groups on campus with your project. Last year they were working with auto loans, and in the previous years they were working with interest rates and everything, learning how to run different regressions and producing the specific data and everything. Does anybody have any specific questions on the course overview at all? Okay. So some of the different employment opportunities that we have within our cohorts, and some of the things that some of our students said that they're looking at. They're looking in the banking and financial industries, consulting firms. That seems to be really popular with this incoming cohort. A lot of them are looking at wanting to be consultants, government administration, as well as NGOs, looking at risk management, policy and performance assessments, as well as data analysis. Overall, you can see here on this chart where our alumni are going. About 64% of them are looking into the private industry. A few over the past cohorts have looked at continuing their education. We had one that went on to get their MBA. Another is looking at currently pursuing the Masters of International Management. And then we also have some that are going into the government sector as well. And you can see from our last 2 cohorts, these are some of the type of positions that our students are getting. We have a 90% placement rate of our students over 6 months after graduation, which is fantastic. Our average salary for our students getting out is about $71,000 a year. And for those of you who are international students, we've recently been approved as a STEM degree. So that means you'll have 2 years of OPT as opposed to the 1 year. So as you're looking at these various positions, you'll probably see if there was a word cloud here, the largest word that you'd probably see on that word cloud is analyst. We do have a lot of students that are going on to the analyst side, especially if you're thinking like Deloitte, American Electric Power as a cost analyst. One of our students just got a job there. Risk management analyst as well. Health policy and research analyst over at the Ohio Department of Medicaid. We have quite a few alumni over there, both from our MAE program as well as the PhD program. If you're thinking more of the environmental and sustainability side, we've had a few students get placed in those areas. One is actually working at Morgan Stanley in New York right now as a research associate in the global sustainable finance area. And then we also have some students that are some alums, excuse me, they're no longer students, working as data scientists, also data process engineers over at Huntington National. With those partnerships that we have had over the past few years, we're really starting to get a pipeline within Huntington National Bank through those courses. So a wide variety of positions and fields that our alumni are going into, which is one of the nice things about this program, is that it's not one of those master's programs that are going to pigeonhole you into a specific sector or field. Really, this program is designed to give you those key skills to go into hopefully any sector or field that you're looking at going into at that point in time. So any questions so far? Remember, you can use the group chat box if you need to, if you have any questions at all. The other thing I like to point out about our program is that we're very supportive within the career development area of our students. Part of my position is that to help students work, get jobs afterwards with that. And we have alumni panels coming in and talking about some of the successes that they had and some of the challenges that they had on the job market. We bring in major companies within the Columbus area. We had one of the chief economists from Nationwide Insurance come by and speak to our students about what they look for in candidates within their company. Same thing with Huntington National Bank, the Ohio Department of Medicaid. So we typically have something going on 2 or 3 times a semester that deals with career development and hoping to help our students get jobs, because we understand it is a 2-semester program. So you'll start your courses, and next thing you know, you're thinking about, oh my gosh, I need to find a job. So we're going to be here within the support, supporting you throughout that process, both while you're a student and after you graduate as well. Oh, so kind of talking about taking some of your next steps now. What we're looking for in candidates, and you can see here on the screen that these are suggested requirements. We practice a holistic review in our admissions process, so we don't look at any one specific item to admit a student. So, but traditionally, our undergraduate GPAs, we're looking at 3.1 on a 4-point scale. We do require the GRE. So that is one thing that we kind of can't bend on at this point. So we do not issue waivers for the GRE. So if you haven't started thinking about taking it, I would highly recommend that. So that way you can kind of get it in before the deadlines that are needed. If you're an international student, we do require English proficiency tests, either the IELTS or the TOEFL. And those documents with specific scores and everything I can provide offline if you do need those. Some of the preferred courses that we look at, these aren't prerequisites. These are just courses that we know that we can set students up for success down the road, is intermediate microeconomics, calculus, and statistics. Now, if you haven't taken one of the or 3 of these courses at all, that is perfectly fine. I would definitely recommend, if you haven't taken a calc class, look into taking one maybe at a local community college or your final semester here, where you're currently working on your undergrad, as that you'll be using a lot of that mathematical side within the program here for the MAE. So not all of our students are going to be economics majors coming in. We've had students who were international relations majors. We've had political science. We've had agribusiness majors come through the program. So it's not necessarily 100% economics focused. Some of them may have taken like an economics minor. So if you're not an economics major, that doesn't necessarily disqualify you from the program. We just look for some of those preferred courses down the road if you're not an econ major. So a little bit about the application process as a whole. We use just the general application that the Graduate and Professional Admissions Office here at Ohio State offers. Our application is actually now live for autumn 2020, which will allow you to start the application now and at least create your account and get started, which we'll talk a little bit about timeline here in a few minutes. A few things that we're looking for is academic transcripts at your current institutions or any other academic institutions that you've gone to for an undergrad or grad perspective. They do not need to be official. So if you're able to get an unofficial from your registrar's office and just scan it onto the application, that is perfectly fine. We will not need an official transcript until after you're admitted and you accept that admission. Again, the GRE scores as well as the English proficiency test, we'll need those as supporting documentation. A resume or a CV outlining some of your recent experiences, as well as 3 letters of recommendation. Now, the 3 letters of recommendation, we encourage students as best as we can to have them come from either advisors or faculty members from your undergrad career, really so we can see what type of a student and how you are doing within the classroom that you are and everything. Now, if you've been in the workforce for a little while and said, I don't even know if that my faculty advisor was even still teaching at where I went to school, can I use a supervisor or a trusted colleague or something along those lines? That's perfectly fine. We would just prefer at least to have one academic letter of reference if possible. One other thing that we look for is we look for a statement of purpose, which is not on this slide. And really, we're not looking for 4 or 5 page reason for why you want to be a part of the program. We're really just looking for a page or two of why you want to do the Masters of Applied Economics program, how it will achieve your future goals, and what makes you think that you'll be successful in the program. So again, can be 1 to 2 pages outlining why you want to be a part of the program within the statement of purpose. So some important dates to kind of start thinking about. Our application is now live, like I mentioned, and you can be started at any point in time, even if you just want to create the application account. One deadline that I would like to point out is the December 15th priority deadline. This is the deadline to be considered for scholarships and funding. So we don't, as a department personally, are able to provide any funding opportunities for students. However, there are university scholarships and funding opportunities from a university level. So to be considered for some of those scholarships and for us to be able to provide those applications for those scholarships, we ask that your application is submitted by December 15th. We'll begin the application review here in January through May. We have a rolling admissions. So what that means is that if you submit your application in January, we'll still be able to review it and give you an admissions decision. Same thing if you submit it in May. We do not have a set number of students that we're looking for in a cohort. Really, what we're looking for is, are you a good candidate for the program, as well as if it's the right fit. Last thing we want to do is admit you and you realize that this is not the program for me. I'm looking for more of a research-based program, and then realize once you get here that it's not what you want, and then you'll have to withdraw and look for another program. So we really are looking for, is it the right fit, and are you going to be successful in the program for admissions. The final application deadline is going to be on May 31st. So you still have plenty of time to kind of work on some of these next steps and prepare for your application and everything as well. So does anybody have any questions at all about the application process, what we're looking for in an application, or anything along those lines? Okay, so I don't see any questions coming up currently for that. Does anyone have any questions at all about the program or the processes overall? Okay, so someone that asked, should I apply if my GPA is lower than the recommended 3.1 currently? I would go ahead and encourage you to go ahead and apply. The absolute minimum that we're looking for, and this is per the graduate and professional admissions here at Ohio State, is a 3.0. So if you're at like right at 3.0 or just under a 3.0, I would say go ahead and look into applying. If it's lower than that, we would probably have to do a petition through the grad school. And then would have to really consider some of the other factors of your application. So your GRE score and your letters of recommendation and the type of courses that you were taking within your undergrad degree. any other questions that we can help with tonight?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Sekou Yakiti Sekuma. I wanted to understand something. The two deadlines, the first deadline is December 15.
Mm-hmm.
That's the deadline to be considered for scholarship and funding. I want to make the difference between that first date and the 31st May, the final application deadline. The
Sure.
first one is about what? Yeah.
Yeah. So to reiterate, the December 15th deadline is not a be-all, end-all deadline. That is just a deadline for us to be able to consider students for potential scholarships or funding opportunities at the university level. After that deadline, there could be some scholarship opportunities available, though they may be a little slimmer than what it would be at the December 15th. So we can't guarantee that there'll be scholarship opportunities or funding opportunities after that December 15th deadline. However, if you're looking at funding yourself for the program, we'll accept applications all the way until that May 31st.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions that I can help with? We might be wrapping up here a little bit early if I don't see anybody else at all. All right, so I'm not seeing any other questions coming in at this point in time. Thank you all for attending our webinar tonight. I hope this was helpful for you. If you do have any questions afterwards, you can feel free to email me. Our contact information is listed below. And we'll be hosting some other sessions here throughout the semester. We'll be bringing in our faculty program director, Dr. Abdul Sam, later on to kind of talk a little bit more about the academics and things later on in the semester. So again, thank you for attending, and we look forward to working with you in the upcoming semester.
Thank you, Luca. Thank you for the presentation. Really helpful. Thank